So, in this session, we'll discuss about flow through circular pipe. Okay, if you have a convective heat transfer, we are discussing. We've already discussed in the previous class. And if you have a flow through flat plate, in that case, what will be the heat transfer coefficient? I mean, how to calculate the convective heat transfer coefficient that we have seen, and then based on that, what are the different mathematical expression for Nusselt number that also we have seen. Because in case of convective heat transfer, we have seen that like conduction one, so normal equation you cannot derive. So based on the dimensionless number, especially Prandtl number, Reynolds number, and Nusselt number, we can utilize some of the empirical equation, and based on that, uh, we can determine the convective heat transfer coefficient. So today we'll discuss about, write down here. Today we'll discuss about that flow of fluid. Okay, determination of, or rather we can write down convective heat transfer in case of flow through circular pipe. Through circular pipe. So suppose if we have a flow like this, suppose we have a circular pipe. We have a circular pipe like this one. Okay, let me draw it first. Okay, if we have a circular pipe like this, and suppose fluid is flowing through this pipe, suppose fluid is flowing through this pipe, fluid is flowing through this pipe. Okay, so some fluid is flowing through this circular pipe. So first of all, we need to determine, because we know when the fluid is flowing, we have three cases. What are the three cases? When the fluid is flowing, we have three types of flow can occur. One is laminar flow, and then turbulent flow, okay, and then transient flow. Transient flow. Okay, so in this case, first of all, we'll see the what are the conditions for this flow. So if your Reynolds number is, you already have studied, if your Reynolds number that is NRE less than 2100, okay, in that case it will be laminar flow. And if your Reynolds number is more than 10,000, then it will be turbulent flow. And if the Reynolds number is in between 2100 and 10,000, if your Reynolds number is in between this, if your Reynolds number is Okay, if your Reynolds number is in between this, in between 2100 and 10,000, in that case it will be transient flow. Okay, so these three types of flow we know. If the fluid is flowing through the circular pipe, from the fluid mechanics also you have seen, if the fluid is flowing through the circular pipe, three types of flow that can occur, that you can decide on the basis of Reynolds number. If your Reynolds number is less than 2100, it will be laminar flow. If your Reynolds number is greater than 10,000, it will be turbulent flow. And if your Reynolds number that you have found already is in between 2100 and 10,000, it will be transient flow. Okay, so if you have a case of laminar flow, so when we have a case of, when we have a case of laminar flow, when we have a case of laminar flow, that means your NRE is less than 2100. In that case, what will be the expression? In that case, what will be the expression? So the fluid is flowing and we have decided that the flow is laminar flow. So in that case, what will be, how to determine the convective heat transfer coefficient? So obviously we need some standard empirical equation. What are those equations? So you can write down. Your Nusselt number will be equal to 1.86 into Reynolds number. So Reynolds number I am writing as RE. Okay, Reynolds number here I have denoted as NRE. For simplicity, I am writing here Reynolds number as RE. Then Prandtl number. Then B by L to the power 1 by 3. Okay, into mu B mu B into mu B divided by mu W. Mu W bracket close to the power 0.14. Okay, 0.14. So if you have a condition of laminar flow, so Nusselt number can be written with the above this equation: 1.86 into RE into PR into D by L to the power 1 by 3 into mu B divided by mu W to the power 0.14. Okay, here all other properties, this Reynolds number, Prandtl number, then this mu B, all these properties are determined at bulk fluid temperature. So you can write down here all the properties for this expression are determined at bulk fluid temperature. So we can write down EB. Okay, so all the fluid properties except, you can write down except mu W, except mu W okay, all the properties except mu W for this expression are determined at bulk fluid temperature, and mu W is determined, is determined at TW. Okay, that is wall temperature. Mu W is determined. Mu W is determined at TW. That is wall temperature. Okay, so if we have a case where through the circular pipe the fluid is flowing, and we have determined that the flow is laminar flow on the basis of Reynolds number, we have checked that the Reynolds number is less than 2100. In that case, the convective heat transfer coefficient can be determined on the basis of this expression. Because we know that when we are representing expression for empirical equations for determining convective heat transfer coefficient, we represent it in the terms of Nusselt number. We have seen it for the flat plate also. Okay, so this Nusselt number will be equal to this one, and here all the properties excluding mu W are determined at TB temperature, and this mu W is determined at TW, that is wall temperature. Okay, because the bulk fluid temperature will be what? If the fluid is flowing, so the inlet temperature is, for example, it is T2, so the bulk fluid temperature T1, and the wall temperature will be whatever is temperature on the wall. Okay, so because when the fluid is flowing, suppose it is a hot fluid, it is flowing through this pipe, so wall will have some separate temperature. So based on the wall temperature, this mu W value will be obtained when we will be calculating. And then for the bulk fluid, that is TB, we will be taking the inlet temperatures T1 and T2. So by taking average of T1 plus T2 divided by 2, okay, we can get the bulk fluid temperature. So once we have bulk fluid temperature, in this bulk fluid temperature we can determine the other values like mu B, and for determining Reynolds number and all these things we can determine. So second case we have, second is if the flow is when the flow is turbulent. So when the flow is turbulent, if your Reynolds number, here we are representing as RE. Okay, here we have represented as NRE, but for simplicity we are representing this Reynolds number as RE. If your Reynolds number is greater than 10,000, so then your flow is turbulent flow. Okay, so if you have a turbulent flow, that means some hot fluid is flowing through the pipe and you have observed that the flow is turbulent. In that case, the Nusselt number will be decided on the basis of some other mathematical expression. So that I will be showing once again. Wait 1 second. So flow for laminar we have decided. Now if you have a turbulent flow, in that case, what will be the expression that we can see? So for the turbulent flow, the expression we can write down. Okay, 1 second. It's creating some issue. So let me write down here. The expression will be nu equal to 0.023 into third bracket 1 plus B by L to the power 0.7 bracket close into RE to the power 0.8 into PR to the power 1 by 3. 1 by 3. Is it audible, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. PR to the power 1 by 3 into this part we can write down. Mu v by mu w to the power 0.14. So if we have a case of turbulent flow, in that case, we can determine the Nusselt number on the basis of this particular expression. Okay, so all the fluid properties are evaluated at bulk fluid temperature, excluding this mu w. Mu w is evaluated at wall temperature. So we can write down the condition for this. All the fluid properties. Okay, so this will be similar to this one, the previous one. This one will be again similar for here also. You can copy it and you can paste it here. So this will be the condition for turbulent flow. So suppose some hot fluid is flowing, convective heat transfer is occurring through the circular pipe. For example, in case of heat exchanger, when you are going to use concentric tube heat exchangers, tubes are there. So in one tube, hot fluid is flowing and another tube cold fluid is flowing. So when you need to heat transfer, okay. So as the hot fluid is flowing through the pipe, so through a circular pipe, so what type of convective heat transfer you are getting, that will be a very effective term when you are designing system. Okay, designing, suppose heat exchanger you are designing. Heat exchanger is a very important device in food processing. That also we'll discuss. We have already uploaded lectures related to that. In the circular pipe, if the flow is occurring, so for determining the convective heat transfer coefficient, first of all we need to determine Nusselt number. Okay, on the basis of Nusselt number expression like this one, we can determine the convective heat transfer. So which one to be used? For this reason, first of all we need to determine what type of flow is exactly occurring, whether it is a laminar flow or turbulent or transient. So we'll find out Reynolds number, and if we observe that the Reynolds number is less than 2100, so then the flow will be laminar flow, and we can utilize this particular expression. And if the flow is turbulent, that means your Reynolds number is more than 10,000, then we can utilize this particular expression. And if we can utilize use this expression, on the basis of this we can easily determine what will be the convective heat transfer coefficient. Now we'll see. So the rate of heat transfer can also be determined. There is another expression for this. For the second case, there is another expression to determine the rate of heat transfer. So the rate of heat transfer, you can write down rate of heat transfer can be determined by this expression. Okay, so rate of heat transfer will be Q, we know that. Okay, so what will be the value of Q? Small q will be equal to H capital A into we'll provide second bracket, then PW minus, let me put first bracket again, PW minus P1 minus, sorry, plus PW minus P2, second bracket close, divided by ln, again I'll be giving second bracket, PW minus P1 divided by PW minus P2, second bracket close, then third bracket is also given. But it's not required. So this will be the expression. So in this particular case, if we need to find out the heat transfer coefficient, so we can find out on the basis of this expression that Q will be equal to HA into TW minus T1 plus TW minus T2 divided by ln within second bracket TW minus T1 divided by TW minus T2, second bracket close. So on the basis of this expression, we can determine. Okay, we can determine the amount of heat transfer. Okay, so here T1, T2 are the temperature of fluid at inlet and outlet. Okay, okay, so here T1 and T2 are temperature of fluid at inlet and outlet of the pipe. So T1, T2 is the inlet and outlet temperature. When the fluid is flowing through the pipe, the inlet, the entrance section and the exit section, okay, whatever is the temperature, T1 shows temperature of the fluid at inlet and T2 shows temperature of the fluid at outlet of the pipe. Okay, so this is for this expression. Now in this expression, in this particular expression, this particular term 1 plus dA by 1 plus dl to the power 0.7 can be omitted when we are going to utilize it for solving numerical. So this particular term can be omitted if your L by D is greater than 60. If your L by D is greater than 60, this particular term can be omitted. So you can write down here. This particular term can be omitted during using this equation if L by D, or ratio of length and radius, length and diameter of the pipe is greater than 60. Okay, so if you observe that your L by D is greater than 60, so when we are going to utilize this expression, so this particular term from this expression can be omitted. Okay, so this is the condition for turbulent flow. So then if you have a transient region, transient flow, second case, then third case, if we have a transient flow. If we have a transient flow, if we have a when the flow is transient, that means your Reynolds number is in between 2100 to 10,000. In that case, how to determine the convective heat transfer coefficient? That means what will be the Nusselt number equation, empirical equation? It will be Nusselt number will be equal to 0.116 into third bracket RE to the power 0.667 minus 125 into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. Okay, then into within third bracket 1 plus D by L to the power 0.667 bracket close. Okay, and then we can write down this expression. Into this one. Okay, so if you have a transient flow, that means your Reynolds number is in between 2100 and 10,000. In that case, the empirical equation for Nusselt number will be this one. Okay, so whenever we have a condition that in a particular circular pipe the hot fluid is flowing and we need to determine the convective heat transfer coefficient, so first of all we need to check which condition you are going to use. Okay, so we'll determine the Reynolds number, we'll check in which condition is basically there in your system. If it is a laminar flow condition, we will be utilizing this expression. If it is a turbulent flow condition, that is Reynolds number is greater than 10,000, we are going to utilize this particular expression. And if your Reynolds number is in between 2100 and 10,000, we are going to utilize this particular expression. Okay, so this is the case for flow of fluid through circular pipe. Next, we will see flow of fluid outside various geometries. Okay, so for various geometry, what will be the flow of fluid? Okay, so next we'll check is it clear? Is it clear? You can write down in the chat box. Yeah, okay. So next we'll see if we have different flow. Suppose next third case that we are going to discuss, that flow variance. Okay, outside various geometries. In that case, the first case is flow over a cylinder. Flow over a cylinder. Okay, so when a fluid flow over a cylinder, when a fluid flows over a cylinder with its axis perpendicular to the flow, okay, over a cylinder with its axis perpendicular to the flow, and Prandtl number is greater than 0.6. So when a fluid flow over a cylinder with its axis perpendicular to the flow and Prandtl number is greater than 0.6. In that case, what will be the expression? The expression will be Nusselt number equal to capital C into Re, that is Reynolds number, to the power m into Prandtl number to the power 1/3. Okay, so what will be the value of Cm? What will be the value of C, and here C and M are constant? What will be the value of constant? So for different Reynolds number value, we can get the value. So we will make a chart here. So Reynolds number, then M value, then capital C value. So if we have 1 to 4 Reynolds number, if you have 1 to 4, one second. if we have 1 to 4 Reynolds number. So on the basis of Reynolds number, we can decide. Let me write down the chart. M, then C. If the Reynolds number is 1 to 4, then M value will be 0.330 and C value will be 0.989. If the Reynolds number is in between 4 to 40, in that case M value will be 0.385 and C value will be 0.911. If your Reynolds number is in between 40 to 4 into 40 to 4 into 10 to the power minus 3. One second. Okay, 40 to 4 into 10 to the power minus 3. 10 to the power 3. 10 to the power 3. In that case, what will be the value of M? The value of M will be 0.466 and then 0.683. And then if the value is in between 4 into 10 to the power 3 to 4 into 10 to the power, you can write down here 4 into 10 to the power 4. In that case, your value of M will be how much? It will be 0.618 and C will be 0.193. And if you have value is 4 into 10 to the power 4 to 4 into 2.5 into 2.5 into 10 to the power 5. In that case, M value will be 0.805 and C value will be 0.0266. Okay, so this is the condition. So for the utilizing this equation, that is flow over a cylinder, that is when a fluid flow over a cylinder with its axis perpendicular to the flow and your Prandtl number is greater than 0.6. So for determining the convective heat transfer coefficient, this particular mathematical expression in terms of Nusselt number can be utilized. So in this expression, there are two constant terms, C and M. So how to determine the constant term when you are going to apply it in practical situation? So obviously we'll have some Reynolds number value. So on the basis of Reynolds number value, we can get different value of C and M. So if it is in between this, will in between. So by selecting the Reynolds number range, in which range your Reynolds number for your case is falling, based on that we can decide the value of M and C, and you can put it here. Okay, so this is the flow past a cylinder. If we have a flow past a single sphere, next is if we have a flow past a single sphere. In that case, what will be the condition? When the spherical food products are heated, or cooled, individually using fluid flowing over them, using fluid flowing over them. Okay, so if you have a case like this, that you have a spherical food product that are being heated or cooled, and the fluid is flowing over the spherical product, in that case, how to determine the convective heat transfer coefficient? So we will be using this expression, that Nusselt number equal to 2 plus 0.6 into RE to the power 0.5 into Prandtl to the power 1 by 3. Okay, so this will, on the basis of this expression we can determine, and here all the properties are determined at bulk fluid temperature, that is at TF. Okay, so on the basis of this we will solve one numerical. So let me erase it. We can erase this, erase it further. Okay, so one numerical will be solving on the basis of the flow over a sphere. The numerical is, let me write down the problem first. Air at 95 degrees Celsius, 95 degree C, I'm writing in short like this, degree C is flowing over spherical shape piece of 6 mm diameter at 45 degree C in a 2 days bed dryer. 3 days bed dryer. The peas are kept in suspension by keeping air velocity, by keeping, one second, by keeping air velocity to 5 meter per second. Assuming all the peas are being dried individually, such that they are treated as separate entity, determine the convective heat transfer coefficient. Convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, so for this problem you can see in a fluidized bed dryer, peas are there. Okay, peas are there, and through the peas having a diameter of 6 mm, and it is at a temperature of 45 degree. Okay, and the air is at 95 degree. The heated air is flowing over the peas at a velocity of 5 meter per second. So we can draw the diagram. Suppose this is the fluidized bed dryer we are drawing. This is a fluidized bed dryer like this. This is the bottom of the dryer. Here you can set all the velocity, temperature and everything. Okay, and the peas are provided here. The piece materials are there in this section. Okay, these are the piece. These are the piece. Okay, these are piece. So the air is flowing. The air is flowing like this. This is the direction of airflow. The heated air is flowing like this over the piece and at a velocity of 5 meter per second. So what will be the heat transfer coefficient? So we have seen that this is a flow over a sphere. So we'll be utilizing that equation. We know that for a flow over sphere, the Nusselt number just now we have discussed will be equal to 2 plus 0.6 Re to the power 0.5 into Prandtl number to the power 1/3. Okay, so for applying this equation, the condition I forgot to mention in the previous portion, the condition will be the Reynolds number should be, the condition for applying this equation, that your Reynolds number should be in between 70,000 to 1 and your Prandtl number should be in between 400 to, sorry, I have written the highest range earlier. Normally when you write the range, the initial range should be written earlier. So here it should be 1 to 70,000 actually. Anyway, you consider it. For the Prandtl number, it will be 400 to 0.6. Okay. So this is the condition. If this condition satisfies, then only you can apply this equation. So for this, apply as the heat transfer is occurring through the sphere. So this particular expression should be used. But first of all, we need to check whether these conditions are satisfied or not. Okay. So the first thing that we will determine, that is fluid properties. So TF will determine. TF will be 95 plus 45 divided by 2. It will give you 70 degrees Celsius. 70 degree C. Okay, that we have determined. So on the basis of this bulk fluid temperature, under this temperature from the standard chart, we can get some of the values. We can get the value of density equal to, we have obtained 1.0345 kg per meter cube. Okay, then mu viscosity. Okay, viscosity, that is mu, that is dynamic viscosity, rather we can write down viscosity equal to 2.05 into 10 to the power minus 5, 10 to the power 5, and then 0.03 watt per meter Kelvin, and then Prandtl number is 0.7. Okay, Prandtl number you can determine on the basis of equation also. We know that the expression for Prandtl number is mu Cp by K. So Prandtl number equal to 0.7. Okay, so this value, first of all, we will determine the bulk fluid temperature. So under this bulk fluid temperature from the standard table, we can determine the value of this. So next we will determine Reynolds number. We will check whether the condition is satisfied or not. Reynolds number we will check. So we know the Reynolds number, rho BD by mu. Okay, rho BD by mu, rho value is here, that is density. Mu is here. Okay, and the diameter is given 6 mm. You convert it to meter. Okay, so rho BD and velocity is given. So in the rho BD by mu expression, you put all the values, we can get the answer. So we'll put the value 0.345, that is density. Then V will be 6 into 10 to the power minus 3 minus 3 into 5, that is velocity. Okay, and this whole expression will be divided by mu. What is mu? Viscosity, that is dynamic viscosity. 2.05 into 10 to the power minus 5. So after calculating, we can obtain the value of Reynolds number. We have seen the value is 1514. So that means, oh, it will be 1514. Okay, the answer, the Reynolds number. So the Reynolds number is in between this. Definitely the condition is satisfied. That means we can utilize this equation. So we'll write down the Nusselt number equal to 2 plus 0.6 into Reynolds number. Already we have decided 1514 to the power 0.5 into Prandtl number we have decided 0.7 to the power 1/3. Okay, so we can determine this, and after calculating, what value we'll get? It will be equal to 22.73, and the result will be equal to 22.73. Okay, so Nusselt number equal to 22.03. So Nusselt number equal to, we also know that h into characteristic dimension. So through the piece, for the piece the characteristic dimension is diameter, so it will be h into d divided by k, okay, equal to 22.73. okay, so here h will be how much? H we need to determine, and d is given. D is diameter of the piece, that is 6 mm. okay, 6 mm. And then k is given. K is thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is how much? It is not given actually. It will be 0.03. 0.03. K value actually is given. Under this sweet temperature, the K value will be, okay, 0.03 watt per meter Kelvin. This will be the value of K. So by putting the value in this equation, the value of K, we can see here, go there, the value of K, that is diameter of the piece, the value of K, value of D and K, okay, and after that we can easily multiply the value of H. So, and after multiplying, the value of H will be how much? The value of H will be 4.55 watt per meter square Kelvin. In this way, for this particular case, we have calculated the value of H, that is convective heat transfer coefficient. So is it clear? Is it clear? You can write down in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you have any class now? Please write down in the chat box. Do you have class now? Okay. So let me finish it further. So next we'll see, this is the problem we have solved, and if we have a case of free convection, because whatever equation we have discussed till now, this is for forced convection. Forced convection means the convection is occurring and you are applying some agitation, okay, some force you are applying, external force, for example fan or some agitator you have provided in the system, and due to this reason you are getting forced convection. But if you have a natural convection, in that case what will be the equation? That also we need to check. So if you have a natural convection, suppose you have a case of natural convection, you have a case of natural convection. In that case, how to determine? So in that case, your Nusselt number will be equal to A into Grashof number. So Grashof number we are going to utilize for the natural convection. There is no forced convection. Whatever is occurring, it is occurring naturally. Okay, this is small. So this particular expression we are going to utilize Nusselt number equal to A into Grashof number and into Prandtl number to the power m. Okay, Prandtl number to the power m. So for this A and m value, there are standard charts available for different. If you have a vertical plane, horizontal cylinder, horizontal plates, for these different charts are available. Okay, and for these different condition or different structure, if we have the value of Grashof number and Prandtl number, we can easily get the value of A and m from the standard chart. Okay, so this particular expression will be utilized for natural convection. So what do you mean by Grashof number? We have already discussed the expression of Grashof number. So it is basically defined as the ratio of inertia force and viscous force. Inertia force and viscous force. So Grashof number, we can see Grashof's number. It's a very good net question. Net kind of questions come. Grashof number spelling is wrong actually. Grashof number. It is basically inertia force by Biowen force. Biowen force. Okay, and the expression can be written as it's a very difficult expression. G equal to small g then rho square. One second. It will be L cube, that is length L cube. Okay, then rho square, then g, that is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, then beta is a coefficient of thermal expansion, beta. Okay, and then you have delta t. So delta t will not be here, divided by mu square. So this particular expression is for your Grashof number. Okay, if you have a Grashof number, delta t will be here. Okay, so L cube rho square into g into beta into delta t divided by mu square. This is equal to inertia force by viscous force. So this Grashof number we are going to utilize in case of calculating convective heat transfer coefficient for natural convection. Okay, so this particular expression you are going to use the value of standard A and M. These are available from this value you can obtain from a standard chart on the basis of Grashof and Prandtl number. So Grashof number you can calculate on the basis of this, and Prandtl number you can calculate on the basis of the formula that we know, mu Cp by K. Okay, so we can solve one numerical based on this. Okay, we can solve one numerical. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You can solve one numerical. Let me solve it. So on the basis of natural convection, air at 30° C is in contact with a vertical wall of an oven 0.7 m high at 150 degree C. Estimate the heat transfer coefficient. Estimate the heat transfer coefficient. Okay. Neglect the loss of heat energy by radiation. Neglect the loss of heat energy by radiation. So this is the question for your homework. You can write down. Let me give you some clues. First of all, we determine the value of TF. TF will be 150 plus 30 divided by 2. Okay. So if you have this value, it will be 90 degree C. 90 degree C. Okay. So under this 90 degree C, from the chart we can obtain the density value. So the density value will be how much? 0.9734 kg per meter cube. Then viscosity equal to 2.135 into 10 to the power minus 5 Pascal second. Okay, then thermal conductivity equal to K equal to how much? 0.03055 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay, and then Prandtl number is 0.7058. So on the basis of this fluid temperature, we can determine these values. So then first of all, we need to determine the Grashof number. Okay, we need to determine the Grashof number. So what is the expression for Grashof number? We already know. The expression for Grashof number we already know that Grashof number is equal to L cube. Okay, L cube into rho square into G into beta into delta T. So this whole divided by mu square. This mu square. So if we put the value, the L value is given already. L value is 0.7. Okay, rho is given here. G is you know. Then delta T will be how much? 150 minus 30. 150 minus 30. And mu is already given, that dynamic viscosity. Only the beta value is not given. So this beta will be equal to how much? This is coefficient of thermal expansion. So we know that 1 by T plus 273. So it will be 1 by, so the bulk fluid temperature, okay, this is 90 degree we have obtained TF value. So 1 by 90 plus 273. It will give you the value equal to 2.75 into 10 to the power minus 3 Kelvin to the power 1. Kelvin to the power. So we can write that. Okay. So all this value you can put here now, and you can get the value of Grashof number equal to. You can get the value of Grashof number equal to 2308149806. Okay, we have this Grashof number, and Prandtl number we have Prandtl number we have, Prandtl number equal to, that already we have calculated from the standard properties 5a. So once you have these values, so from the standard chart for a vertical wall, if the Gaussian number and Prandtl number is this and these values, we can get the value of a and m. Okay, because we are going to utilize this equation, which equation that just now we have shown that equation, that Nusselt number will be equal to a into third bracket Grashof number into Prandtl number to the power m. So this a and m value we can, because we have this standard value, we have vertical also, from the standard chart we can obtain the value. So the value that we can obtain, it will be, the value of a will be how much? The value of a will be the value of a will be how much? 0.13, and m will be 1/3. Okay, so once we have this value, we can put it in this equation. So after putting in this equation, we can get the Nusselt number equal to how much? 152.965. As this is a dimensionless number, there will be no unit. So then we can write down HL by K, because here the characteristic dimension is length of the pipe, okay, or length of the vertical wall, or height of the vertical wall, rather, whatever you want to write, by K equal to 152.965. Okay, so you have the value of L. L is already given, that is 0.7 here, and K is already given, the K value, this one. So by putting the value of L and K, okay, you can do like this. You give the value of L, this is already given, the value of K is already given, so we can get the value of small h. The value of small h, that is convective heat transfer coefficient, that we can obtain, it will be equal to 0.68 watt per meter Kelvin. So in this way, for the natural convection also you can determine the value. So in case of natural convection, you have observed one thing, we are going to use Grashof number. Okay, so this is all about convective heat transfer coefficient and their determination. One lecture already we have done initially, that is for the flat plate and definition of convective heat transfer coefficient, which follows Newton's law of cooling, and some dimensionless number. Okay, and then today we have discussed about flow over a cylinder, that is very, very important for, I mean, flow over a circular pipe, and then flow for over various geometries, and then for natural convection. So this is all about this session. Hope you have liked it. Thank you everyone. Let me stop the recording.